Hello there again. I just had something quick come up, and I've been meaning to actually share this one for a little while. I got a new book, and I've been starting to look into it finally. I finished one book, which gave me the opportunity to go into another one. And I've got a few more that are on the list, but gotta get there. Anyway, I want to talk about the multiple bodies. And if you're going to talk about the multiple bodies, you have to go into the multiple planes. Right? We have our plane of existence that we're at right now, the physical plane. And I'm summarizing it. There's more to it, but we have the physical plane, and then you have the astral plane. And above the astral plane, you start going into the ethereal plane. And then there's more and more and more until you get to the point where you're in the realm of God. You know, a lot of people want to discount this, but I'm going to bring it up a little bit. There is a thing called the firmament. It is what separates our physical plane from the ethereal plane. The waters that separate the waters, as the Bible describes it. This is in the book of Genesis. So if you want to, I didn't grab my Bible, but I grabbed another one because this is what I want to show into. But if you want to verify me, it's not going to be hard. Just open up the Bible, and it's like the first page. And you start reading, it'll start talking about this firmament. Yeah. You can see the firmament. Do you know that? It looks like a rainbow. Yeah. When God flooded the world the first time, he showed us a rainbow as a sign that he wasn't going to do it again. Now, I like to add on to that scripture and say that shortly after it says he's not going to flood the world again, it does give you a piece of the end. He says he's going to destroy the world with fire the next time. Maybe we'll go into that in a future one. I'm going to show you Letters on Occult Meditation by Alice Bailey. I like Bailey. She channels for Djwal Khul. I like Djwal Khul. Djwal Khul and Moria spent some time together, and Kuthumi, on a journey in the desert, following a star. Take a look. It's kind of small print. Try to read what you can. And if you need more, just look it up. Get it yourself. That was a graph of the planes. Now, granted, I'm sure there's multiple graphs. Somebody else probably has a different idea. But you've got the physical plane, and then above it, you have the astral plane. Above that, the mental plane. Above that, the Buddhic plane. Above that, the atmic plane. The monadic plane. And then above that, the divine plane. There's different names. As you study this stuff, you'll start to understand that a lot of these things are the same thing, but they have different names because different groups of people were learning this stuff at different times. Right? And that's when the epiphany hit me. You know, there's one God. One God. And he's revealed himself through different generations and different groups of people at different times using different teachers, world teachers, Christs. But it all points to the same source. If you can recognize it by its fruit, By their fruit ye shall know them. How do you tap into these planes? Meditation. Aligning your multiple bodies. How do you do that? Control your emotions. Control your mind. Learn to recognize when you are being played on by an elemental in the astral plane. Learn to recognize the different spirits that will take people over and dwell in them. Spirits have names too. Can you recognize them enough to name them? I had an interaction with one time. I'm not going to name the person specifically who it is. But I do know the entity that bothers him. Why he always feels like he has to rival with me, to warmonger with me. He's plagued by an Asmodeus demon. Are you at the point where you can recognize people's spirits that plague them and name them? Now, I mean, I'm not trying to beat my chest or anything to it. I'm more of a subtle person. But it is a skill that will become useful in the future. Especially as we're in this time where these frequencies are changing and people are going to be more apt to act erratic. And you have to be able to see it coming so that you can just honestly get out of the way. That's the best course of action. When you start seeing mob mentality or people start acting crazy, violent, get out of the way. Maybe try to talk to them when they're done. Maybe. But yeah, aligning your bodies, aligning your multiple bodies. You can remember we have a physical body, a spirit, mental, a soul. When you align them, right? Then you get to start tapping into the other planes. You can see them. So, anyway, hope this was a good one, guys. Yeah, if you want to look it up, that's Letters on Occult Meditation by Bailey. You have a good day. Bye now.